Khan. Shalom, 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 Israel. First and foremost, want to give all honor and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Ba'ashema Masha'Kum Malak Yahushua. And the topic of this lesson is meditate in the works of the Lord. Right? The Lord didn't create you just to be in a room all damn day. Don't want to come out like a robot, watching TV all day. And the Lord created the heavens and the earth for you to be out amongst the elements, right? To meditate in the laws, statutes, and commandments, to get your mind right spiritually. All right, let me open up with the classic. Because our forefathers did that in the ancient world. They weren't just sitting in their tents all day, wasn't taking showers, just in there, just sweaty. Right, our forefathers was amongst the elements. All right, it's the book of Genesis, chapter 20, chapter 24, verse 63. It reads, "And Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the eventide." Right, so our forefathers was meditating in the laws, statutes, and commandments outside. Right, they wasn't no damn robots. They wasn't dwelling in tents. They was outside in the elements, meditating in the law, statutes, commandments, feeling the wind breeze. Right, looking at the green grass. Because we coming in times where you're not gonna be able to do this no more. You're not gonna be able to come outside and you're not gonna be able to come outside and relax no more. Right, all hell is gonna break loose. It's gonna be a famine. Hey, when you probably go outside in Jacob's trouble, people won't be trying to kill you, right? See what you got, see if you got food, right? So it's very important that you get out in the elements as soon as possible and just meditate in the laws, statutes, commandments, and on the Holy Scriptures, right? Let's get the book of Sirach, chapter 38. The book of Sirach, chapter 38, and verse, I'm going to start at 25. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 38, and I'm going to start at verse 24. It says, "The wisdom of a learned man coming by opportunity of leisure, and he that have little business shall become wise." So the man that has little business shall become wise. Right? He's not at work working 80 hours a week. Right? He's just not at home sleeping all day. Right? He has less business. He has less things to do. So he's gonna have time to meditate in the law, statutes, and commandments. Right? Examine himself. Get in tune with the scriptures and connect with the Most High, right? And that's how you become wise. When you study in the scriptures over time, if you consistently in the scriptures, you're going to become wise. It's only a matter of time before you wax mighty and mighty, right? Just like with basketball. If you're in the gym 24/7, 7 days a week, eventually you're going to become a superstar. That's the same way in the truth, man. Right? So you gotta literally get in here and stay in here, man. Sometimes it might be hard, you might kind of get caught up, right? Kind of get slothful a little bit, but you got to ultimately stay in here as much as possible. Verse 25, it says, "How can he get wisdom that holdeth the plow and driveth glory in the goad, that driveth oxen and is occupied in their labors?" Right? Meaning, how can a man get wisdom if he caught up with the affairs of this world, right? Or if he's busy all the time. Like I said, if he's working 80 hours a week, he's not going to have time to read 10 chapters a day, right? Go over the precepts, study for at least 2 hours. He's going to be at work, right? So as much free time as you can, put it in the scriptures. It's going to pay off ultimately in the long run, right? It says, "And whose talk is of bullocks, he giveth his mind to make furrows, and is diligent to give the kind fodder." So every carpenter and workmaster that labor day and night, and they that cut grave seals and are diligent to make great variety and give themselves to counterfeit imagery and to watch and to finish a work. right? But I'm gonna rest right there. All right, let's go to the book of Proverbs, the first chapter. Proverbs, first chapter. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 5. It says, a wise man will hear and increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain into wise counsel. All right, so a man of understanding, he's going to attain to wise counsel. All right, let me get the book of Tobit, the 4th chapter. Let me get the book of Tobit, chapter 4. Salaki. Right? A wise man, he's going to continually meditate in the laws and commandments. He's not going to be a vain babbler, uttering vain knowledge. Right? You should be striving to be that best wise, to be the ultimate version of yourself and being as wise as possible. Like I said, it's not about, even though it's not about the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that you got, right? But it's about maintaining that. It's the book of Tobit, chapter 4, verse 14. It says, let not the wages of man, Salakia, let not the wages of man which have wrought for thee tarry with thee, but give him it out of hand. For if thou serve God, he will also repay thee. Be circumspect, my son, in all things thou doest. Meaning, be on watch continually. And everything you do, be on watch, man. Right? It says, in all things thou doest, and be wise in all thy conversation. So you want to strive to be wise in all your conversations. You don't want your conversations to be about ESPN or Sports Center or about the Lakers. Is they getting a 2 repeat or a 3 repeat? You talking about Jordan? That's happened sometimes down in the 1990s, right? A wise man is not going to be talking about that. A wise man is going to be talking about the scriptures at all times, right? And you want to strive to be that wise man. You want to be striving to be so righteous. Everything that comes out your mouth is wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? Then the Queen of Sheba say that to Solomon. She said, blessed are the men that are around you, right? Because the men that was around Solomon, hey, if you hanging with King Solomon, 9 times out of 10, everything that come out of his mouth that you hear is gonna be wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right, let's go to the book of 1 Kings, the 10th chapter. Block it. 1 Kings chapter 10 and verse. I'm gonna start at block it. That's 2 Kings. Bear with me. This is the book of 1 Kings chapter 10 and verse. This is the book of 1 Kings chapter 10, and I'm gonna start at I'm gonna start at verse I'm trying to see. Lock it. Bear with me. 1 Kings 10 and it's the book of 1 Kings chapter 10. I'm gonna start at 7. It says, howbeit I believed not the words until I came and my eyes had seen it. And behold, the half was not told me. Thy wisdom, prosperity exceeded the fame which I heard happy. Right? So the Queen of Sheba, she was shocked. Right? She couldn't believe what Solomon was uttering out of his mouth. All praises to the Most High. Verse 8, it says, happy are thy men, happy are these thy servants, which stand continually before thee and hear thy wisdom. Right? She said, happy are the men that stand with you continually. The men that's hanging around you. Right? Because all they hearing is straight wise counsel. Right? They hearing wisdom, knowledge, understanding, how to love their brother. Right? How to treat their women. Right? Man, it's no detailed account what Solomon was actually saying out his mouth. Right? Solomon was Solomon was so smart. If he was to take an IQ test right now, the machine would break. right? He knew about the signs of the time. He knew about the astrology, right? He knew about all these modern terms that the so-called white man say I just came up with. Solomon already knew about that. Real quick, let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon. Right? Solomon knew about condensation, right? It said, this is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 4. It says, and our name shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance. And our life shall pass away as a trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun and overcome with the heat thereof. Right? So Solomon knew about evaporation. Right? He saw the so-called white man think he just came up with evaporation. Right? Solomon knew that if you had a mist of water, right, and the sun was out beaming, right, that water would get evaporated and it would disappear. He's saying that's how man is upon the earth, right? They like vapor. When the sun beam on it, it just kind of disappears. It evaporates, right? So Solomon knew about all of these things already, right? Don't it say in the book of 1 Kings, the 4th chapter? Let's go to it. Hey, Solomon spoke, man, 3,000 proverbs. Imagine that. If Solomon was to be going to camp right now, he'll be pulling about 500 precepts. All right, Solomon will be pulling about 500 precepts at camp. Just the book, 1 Kings chapter 4 and verse 32. It says, and he spake 3,000 proverbs, and his songs were 1,005. Right, so Solomon spoke 3,000 proverbs. A proverb is a wise saying. Right, so I mean, hey, Solomon was on fire. Right, and the men that hung around Solomon, 9 times out of 10, they was on fire as well. Right, what's going on? Right, so Solomon, hey, he was on fire through the Spirit. Right, and that's how you got to strive to be. Right, so purge out that leaven as much as you can before the Lord returns, man. Right, get outside amongst the works of the Lord and meditate continually day and night. Now let's go to the book of Job, chapter 15. Let's start at verse 1. It's the book of Job, chapter 15, verse 1. It reads, then answered Eliphaz the Temanite and said, should a wise man utter vain knowledge and fill his belly with the east wind? Should he reason with unprofitable talk or speeches where he could do no good? Right, should a wise man utter vain knowledge? You mean it? Should a man that's wise be talking about what's going on Sports Center? Right? Or is a wise man going to be talking about the prophecies that's kicking off? Right? How can he love his nation? How can he go harder to wake up the lost sheep of the house of Israel? That's what a wise man is going to be doing. He's going to be, he's not going to be thinking about naked Eve, right? How many wives he could get in a truth. He's going to be simply focused on the Heavenly Father and ultimately seeking out his first wife, which is wisdom, right? Because wisdom is personified as a woman all throughout the scriptures, right? You got 2nd Esdras 15 and 33. You got many-fold precepts, Proverbs 9 and 1. Right, that's what a wise man is going to be doing. And we got to be the same. Right, let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 9, verse 15. Go to the book of Sirach, chapter 9, verse 15. Book of Sirach, chapter 9. Verse 15, it reads, it says, let thy talk be with the wise, and all thy communication in the law of the Most High. Right? Hey, how beautiful is it to everything you saying is in the talk of the Most High? Right? I think brothers look over that. Right, brothers say, well, brother, you don't want to be over righteous. You always want to talk about the scriptures. Hey, that's right, man. I want to strive to always talk about the scriptures. I don't want to talk about no worldly things. I don't want to be caught up with the affairs of this world. You damn right I want to be always talking about the laws of the Most High. Hey, that's beautiful, man. Right? But I say, man, you always talking about the scriptures. Can you just take a break one day? Right? We chilling right now. No. Right? Of course I want to always talking about the Most High and everything that he has done, man. Right? And I'm, Lord willing, I hope brothers' mindset is the same. Right? Brothers should always be wanting to talk about the scriptures. Right? Getting wisdom, knowledge, and understanding from the Heavenly Father. Right? Let's get the book of Sirach, 14th chapter. Sirach chapter 14. Salakia. The book of Sirach, chapter 14, and verse 20. It says, blessed is the man that doth meditate good things in wisdom, and that reason of holy things by his understanding. He that considereth her ways in his heart shall also have understanding in her secrets. Right, a wise man that's continually talking about the words of the Lord, right, the laws, such commandments, this wisdom, and he's gonna learn the secrets of wisdom, man. Right, and like I said, wisdom is personified as a woman. Right, on a physical level, when you first meet a woman, right, she might not tell you where she stay at. Right, she gonna be like, boy, get out my face, I don't know you. Right, we could be friends. Right, that's how wisdom is. When you first meet wisdom, she not gonna tell you her secrets. Right, she gotta try you, she gotta prove you. Right, that's another lesson for itself. But verse 22, it says, go after her as one that treadeth and lie in wait in her ways. He that prayeth in her windows shall also hearken at the doors. Right, on a physical level, Jake, and you will see some of these movies, Jake could be kind of stalking Eve and through her window. Right, he trying to see what she wearing. He trying to actually get to know this female. Right, that's how you need to be with wisdom, man. Right, out of your belly, meaning out of your mind, it's gonna be rivers of living water. Right, and that's my goal, and that, Lord willing, that's every brother goal that's watching this. Right, everything that come out their mouth, they trying to speak wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and thus said the Lord, man. Right, let's keep going on that. It says, he that doeth lodge near her house shall also fasten a pin in her walls. Right, so you want to lodge your house near wisdom, meaning you want to be next to her continually. The moment you despise wisdom, hey, that's the moment you done messed up. Right, you done messed up. Let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 3rd chapter. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, and verse 11. It says, for whoso despises wisdom and nurture, he is miserable, and their hope is vain. Right, so if you despise wisdom in the last days, right, brothers trying to teach you who you are, sisters trying to teach the other sisters how to be godly women, right, keepers at home of good things, being like they righteous foremothers, Judith, Esther, Sarah, Rachel, Leah, Rebecca, right, and you despising that, and you're gonna be miserable. You're a very miserable person. It says, and their hope is vain, and their labor is unfruitful, and their works unprofitable. So if you despise wisdom, your works are gonna be unprofitable. Meaning everything that you done did, you probably done been outside in a cold, man, bringing it out, right? You've been putting in overtime. You've been staying up all night. You've been, you've been declining jobs that pay $50 an hour, right? All for wisdom, and you despising her. That was unprofitable, right? It was better for you to not have known the way of the truth than to fall out this thing, right? Don't be like Damas in 2 Peter, the 4th chapter, I believe, who have loving this present world. He forsake his brethren, man, having loving this present world and fall out the truth. Don't be like that, man. All right, let's go back to the book of Sirach, 14th chapter. Lock it. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 14, and verse 25. It says, and he shall pitch his tent nigh unto her, and shall lodge in a lodging where good things are. Meaning that a wise man is gonna lodge where good things are. He's not gonna lodge where weed smokers are, where brothers that's slothful, right? He's gonna hate that, and he's gonna pitch his tent towards good things, man, so he could prosper, so he could be a tree planted by rivers of living water, right? And a tree that's planted by rivers of living water is gonna always be nurtured. It's gonna be healthy. It's gonna stand upright like a cedar in Lebanon. But if you have a tree that's planted by dirt, dry, it's kind of gonna be like, man. Let's see if I could switch my camera. I don't think I can, but if you used to see this tree right here, it's kind of dead, right? It's dry, right? It's basic, it's boring, right? That's how you're gonna be if you don't pinch your tent toward good things. Verse 26, he shall set his children under her shelter, and shall lodge under her branches. Meaning you're gonna lodge under the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And you're gonna lodge your children. Because if you're a man of understanding, you will have your household in order. Right? A man that don't have his household in order is gonna be soon overthrown. That's Sirach 27:3. It says, by her he shall be covered from heat, meaning death and destruction. Right? And in her glory shall he dwell. And you want to be dwelling in glory, man. I'm gonna keep going on that. This Sirach 15:1. It says, he that feareth the Lord will do good, and he that have knowledge of the law shall obtain her. Meaning you're gonna obtain wisdom. And chiefly you want to fall in love with the wisdom. Lord willing, I do a video on that. It says, and as a mother shall she meet him, and receive him as a wife married of a virgin. Right? So wisdom is gonna feed you as a mom. Now you Jakes, you know what I'm talking about. You kind of come home from college, or you come home from a long day from sports or work, and mom said, hey, I got some pot roast with some cornbread with some sweet tea. Hey, you Jakes, hey, you gonna kind of get in that thing, right? You're gonna be like, thanks, mom. Hey, it's nothing like mom cooking, right? Grandma's cooking. That's how wisdom is gonna be, but on a spiritual level, meaning she's gonna feed you wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Verse 3, it says, with the bread of understanding shall she feed him, and give him water of wisdom to drink, meaning of the bread of understanding, right? Because like I said, this is spiritual food, pursuing the Isaiah 55:1 and various other precepts. It says, verse 4, and he shall be stayed upon her, and shall not be moved, right? And he shall rely upon her, and shall not be confounded. Meaning you're gonna rely on wisdom, right? If I tell my brother, no, brother, don't stop smoking weed, stop smoking cigarettes, right? He's gonna be comforted. He's not gonna be confounded, because that's wisdom, man. Right? That's knowledge. Now, if the brother keeps smoking weed and cigarettes, it's only a matter of time before, one, he gets sick, right, catch cancer, or two, he gonna ultimately be destroyed and thrown in the lake of fire. Meaning it gets destroyed by what's coming to America, these missiles. So if you rely on wisdom, right, knowledge and understanding, if a brother tell you stop smoking weed, right, stop slutting out your women, right, sisters, be a princess, stop dressing like a damn whore. Why you think all of these sisters getting raped and snatched up? Look the way how they dress. It was a video I was watching in the Eve, and the brother was telling her, hey, put on some clothes, right? We don't want to see that. She said, why you looking? Right? Like, so that's how you know Eve does that on purpose. And she wondered why she get raped, right? Why are the Black, Hispanics, and Native American women the most to get raped, right? Or get snatched up and get their body parts taken? How you think all these transgenders getting women body parts, right? Verse 5, it says, she shall exalt him above his neighbors, and in the midst of the congregation shall she open his mouth. He shall find joy in a crown of gladness, right? You're gonna find joy. Just like you Jakes, when you find that one woman, you're like, dang, she bad, man. I gotta have her. That's how wisdom is. You're gonna be happy, right? You should, hey, every brother should be catching butterflies when they married to wisdom, right? When they in a wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. This is an ultimate romance story, right? A man in wisdom. It says, he shall find joy in a crown of gladness, and she shall cause him to inherit an everlasting name, right? She's gonna call you to ultimately get the kingdom. Verse 7, but foolish men shall not attain unto her, and sinners shall not see her. Right, so if you a man that's sinning, right, you don't give a damn about the Lord, you taking everything as a joke. Hey, brothers, remember that brother that in high school you used to think everything was funny, right? If you still doing that in 2021, hey, you're not gonna obtain wisdom, right? And if you don't have wisdom, or if you don't want to obtain wisdom, I'm gonna say this: I don't want to hang around you straight like that, right? Let me get a couple more precepts. It says, verse 8, for she is far from pride, and men that are liars cannot remember her. So if you a liar, right, you lying, you making a bad name for the camp, you saying this brother did this when this brother didn't do that, you raising a false report, like it say in Exodus 23:1. And you're not gonna find wisdom, you're not gonna attain her, right? And if you a proud man, meaning you got a lot of pride on you, nobody can tell you nothing, you know it all. And for you Eves as well, you sisters in this thing, if you think you know it all and you're not humbling down, wisdom is not gonna sup with you, right? She's gonna stay far away from you as possible, because you're a threat. Just like a sister, you got a young beautiful sister, she's gonna stay away from them murderers and them rapists. She's not gonna be hanging around rapists, right? Unless she want to get raped, but I doubt that, right? That's how wisdom is. She stay away from these ungodly men, right? Read it known. It says, verse 9, praise is not seemly in the mouth of a sinner, for it was not sent of him of the Lord. Meaning the Lord didn't send you. Verse 10, for praise shall be uttered in wisdom, and the Lord will prosper it. So the Lord is going to ultimately prosper it, man. Right? If you praise it in wisdom. Verse 11, say thou not, it is the Lord that I fell away, for thou oughtest not to do the things that he hated. Meaning, don't blame it on the Lord that you're doing this. Ultimately, everything is already predestined to happen. But on a lower level, don't say you did, man, the Most High made me stop reading. Most High made me stop listening to them brothers. Right? Don't say the Lord did that. Right? You must have been doing the things that the Lord hates and what wisdom hates. Right? It says, say not thou, he have caused me to err, for he have no need of the sinful man. Right? The Most High don't need you. Right? A lot of brothers think that the Lord needs you. I know damn well the Lord don't need me. Right? But all praises to the Most High, he using me as a vessel. He don't need you. He don't have need of the sinful man. So don't say that the Lord made me do this, made me do that. Hey, the Lord don't need you. For one, he got thousands of angels, like it say in Psalm 68 and 17. And he have plenty of other righteous men that's in his truth. The Lord don't need you, right? He could just root you up and plant the next man, right? Nobody got guaranteed spots in this thing. Right, I want to get a couple more precepts. I'm gonna close out. Let's go to the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 15, verse 28. And Samuel said unto him, the Lord have rent the kingdom of Israel from thee to this day, and have given it to a neighbor of thine that is better than thou. Right? So the Lord always got a man that's better than you, that he could root you up, right? And replace you with the next man. Right? So with that, I was just kind of going out the spirit. Right? Israel, get outside, get in the elements and the works of the Lord. Right? Get the animals, the birds, right? And chiefly meditate in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And Lord willing, you're enduring and you're doing everything to make your calling and election sure in the last days. So with that, I'm gonna bid Israel shalom. Stay on fire. giving all honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'Shem Mashiach Malak Yahushua. Shalom.